Hello everyone, and a special shout out to the November and the September 2024 students. Now the results have gone by, a few days are done. What had to happen unfortunately has happened. Now wish we could change something, but what we can change now is our level of preparation for the upcoming exams. So a lot of you would probably have started opening their books, but it is difficult to kind of get back the momentum that we had probably in the earlier attempt. Probably in the earlier months we were having a lot of momentum. Here we are probably not being able to catch up to that. What should we do? How should we get back into that groove? Because we want to clear, yes, deep within, but we are unable to kind of get that momentum back. First things first, you have to remember that at that time, just a month or two before the exam, the level of energy and the momentum is difficult to get overnight. You have to start. You can't expect that you will play the same way in the last over that you are playing, let us say, in the middle overs. No, you will have to start slowly, steadily, but start in order to get that momentum back. If you just think that earlier I was studying 12 hours, now I'm hardly struggling for 6 hours, that is human. Even if we had to sit, it is very human for everyone to kind of face that problem. But getting dejected at 6 hours is not the right way. You start, maybe if it is 6, it's fine. Tomorrow I'll go at 7 hours, 6.5 hours. You build that up, and if you build it up, in no time will you realize that you are back into that momentum. So it is very important that you start and you continue that momentum by slowly building up. You do not expect an overnight miracle that you open the books and you will sit for 14 hours, 12 hours. That is not going to happen. It's not realistic. If it happens, nothing like it. But if not, then you slowly build up. It is just a matter of 10 or 12 days. If you increase your half an hour each day, you will reach your desired target by the end of July, 100%. But you have to start now. Okay. Secondly, in terms of scheduling, well, if I look at the scheduling, assuming you are giving both groups, over here we had earlier also said that you keep around 55 days. You have 100 days remaining, 55 days approximately for group 1, 45 days approximately for group 2. Within that, FR will take a bulk of the time, 25 days for group 1, AFM for example 18 days, and audit around 12 days. I've assumed that you will probably try to revise it twice, the first revision and second revision. Second revision usually takes 60% of the time of the first revision. For the second group, DT slightly more time, 22 days, and IDT being 15 days. IBS have kept 8 days for the case study digest and also covering probably law and costing that you have to manage. If you are looking at first group, then all of these days you multiply by 2. It is simple. This is 2 group target. You multiply for each subject into 2 approximately, and you have enough kind of leeway. Just that if you are giving group 2, you will also have to keep slightly more days for IBS because you'll have to touch upon the group 1 papers as well. So that is your broad clear schedule. There is no rocket science. Maybe someone may think 25, instead of 25 I do 30 or I do 20, that's fine. But this is a broad schedule. This is your target. Your goalpost is not shifting. Your goalpost is 1st November only. Every day that you lose, you are kind of losing your time value. So don't really think of the magic schedule. The magic schedule does not exist. The magic exists in your hard work, right? So get on to that at the earliest possible. Second, the subjects that you should start with. Now, in my opinion, if you are finding it difficult to get the momentum, first try to take the subject that you are most comfortable with. Yes, ideally you have to tackle your weaknesses, yes, but the weakness should be tackled when you are in the flow. You should not be tackling when you are currently shaky. So over here, if you like a practical paper, say if I personally were to write the exam, I would say that if I'm whenever on my low days, I would try to take a subject where I can do practical calculations, numericals. Now some person can be comfortable with theory. Well, you do theory to start with. Among the 5 subjects, there has to be one subject that you kind of like. Whichever that is, you start with that. That will bring you the momentum, and once you are in the momentum, then you can pick up the slightly more weaker or the difficult subject like audit. A lot of people have scored lesser in this attempt. You can pick up later, but if you start with audit again, then you will zone out. So pick up a comfortable subject, get into the groove, slowly build up half an hour each day, and then you go on to the slightly more difficult subjects, is what I would have done. Next, the number of hours. You know how many hours you have at hand if you are working or if you are having leave. Those hours try to optimize. I'm not saying you start at 12 hours today. You start at your best, but when you are studying, keep your momentum. After that, if you want to kind of get off, don't sit in the book in front of 12 hours and study for 6 hours. You sit for 6 or 7 hours if you are unable to sit enough, and then probably reward yourself, but ensure that you can see some shows, or you can kind of go for you can probably, you know, the best ways that you want to spend your time, you can do that, but every day ensure that you try to increase half an hour of your study time. Okay. uh, if you have SPOM remaining, well, you kind of first get the date, because from what I hear from students, the dates may not be easily available. Book the date and ensure you do it parallelly. The last thing you want is an SPOM overhang when you are in your all guns blazing somewhere in September or October. That is the last thing that you would want to do. So the earlier you finish, if it is remaining, good for you, so that you can focus the energy when you have to go all guns blazing at that point. Okay. And lastly, when we are looking at, let us say, the result analysis. Now, trust me, every student wants to know where they made the mistake, where they could not go through. The general things we have are probably you need to build your concepts, you need to do pen and paper practice. All of that can wait. Okay. If you sit in front of the books and you study with a fresh perspective and a positive mindset, what has happened in the past, you are unable to going to be change it. Thinking it more will still put you down. I know it is easier said than done. However, well, you have to get up and go for the next attempt and get it done once and for all. For that, you will have to kind of give yourself some backing. Slowly. Remember, you will think of result continuously, then it will always be in your mind. Out of sight is out of mind. And you put November 24 and remove May 24 from your mind, and you will be able to go all guns blazing. Okay. But promise me that you will start with whatever hours you have, but you will start as the earliest, and by January end you will reach your desired target, and then trust me, there is no looking back. So I hope you will give your best shot and go for it. I know, I trust you can, and give that positive affirmation to you. No matter how tough your past has been, or your exams or your results have been, don't look for excuses. Try to tell that I need to improve. If I improve, I will clear. If I try to blame someone, then, I'm just trying to find an excuse for that. Maybe there are certain flaws everywhere, but if you can correct your flaws and you study hard, maybe you will get much more marks than 300. You don't want to clear at 300. You will kind of there have been so many people in this attempt who have so many inspiring stories where they've scored in their 20s and 30s in papers like AFR and AFM, and they've come back so strongly to score a much more exemption and much more, and sometimes even a rank, which can definitely be you. And when you look back in retrospect, you will be proud of yourself. But for that, please get started. You are starting today. Okay. Bye bye. Take care.